Yeah, anyway, this is Super Mega, the biggest of the biggest, the highest of the highest. You are now tuned into RadioDR.
Okay, sure. RadioDR.co.za. Black House Talk.
Black House Talk.
Black House Talk. Sanbonani Ninjani. My name is Silo Timba. I'm not alone.
My name is Prof.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah. We
Nothing's
got
changed.
I think, yeah, I just bumped into this guy at a friend's party. I'm like, no, come sit down. I've always seen him as like an older brother figure, you know, lurking around, and he does what I do. He's into the film thing. So, welcome, Mr. Alutha Ngcobo.
Yeah.
Father.
I'm for having me, guys. Man.
Filmmaker.
Yeah.
What else are you? Tell us.
I think filmmaker is the best description when it comes to describing Ngcobob. But obviously, you would know through film, I got into music, but more on Gui background rather than Gui forefront. So, you know, the beauty of film, it opens a lot of other doors in the creative space, you know what I mean? So, I think anything media would
So you
would
go
best
from
define
film
me.
into music.
Film led me to music, funny enough.
It's generally the opposite story.
and
Yeah, you know.
It's crazy.
And he says music so lightly, but this is one of the hands behind one of South Africa's last good pop, you know, rap groups. Dreamteam. We've also got Trevor Trey trailing here.
Calm down.
We have his one-man entourage that he bought.
Today, I'm entouraging today. For my man.
We got a celebrity
So, Sina,
entourage, dog.
Calm down.
How you doing, Trevor Trey? How about that?
I'm good, bruv. How you doing? How you
Okay,
guys
thank
doing? How you living? First time I'm out seeing this stuff, right?
Yeah, well,
Because
Well,
of doing
welcome
things.
to Radio DR.
But yeah, where's the cameras, bro?
they coming.
Coming.
Coming, dog. Why you stressing me? Why you all up in my grill, B?
Sleeping on the joints, B.
Amazing.
Yeah, man. So, Al.
Yes, sir.
One of the things I wanted to know, and I've always wanted to know, is, especially as I started getting deeper and deeper into it, is, Doug, how did your parents allow you to get into film? Because you like, nobody was doing it back in your time, especially in Durban.
When did you
Yeah.
start doing film, though? Let's start
Yo,
there.
straight out of high school. Funny enough,
Plus minus what year if you don't want to give away your
matriculated in 2000.
age. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I knew by standard 7 that I'm definitely getting into film.
So you,
So,
you got into film when there was still only 4 channels.
Was there even 4? Like when
There
I'm
was open time.
It was 3 at some point. It was only SABC. ETV is new.
It's
Shout
very
out to
new.
employer.
Yeah, it's very
But
new.
ETV wasn't there in the year 2000.
Nah, don't you remember ETV launching?
I do
And your
remember
dad
ETV
setting the
launching.
channel and shit like that. We're, God, there's a new channel coming.
And the signal was bad.
Masiak Trim.
Unless you had like a really good
And
area.
Emmanuel.
Hey, yo,
That's what made
I
ETV though.
yeah,
Emmanuel and wrestling.
Manual and wrestling. Where
They built ETV.
That's real talk right there.
No, that is true. The viewership came from I wouldn't
Emmanuel
dispute that.
and
I
wrestling.
wouldn't dispute that. No, for me, ngokuzalwa sizalelwe eNquthu. That's where I grew up, and then my
poem.
proper. Ukulusa nenduku nje into zami.
That's I think of.
So from eNquthu, my uncle comes from the art space. So my uncle, who was older than Uma, got Uma involved in that whole space. I think my first experience with Intoye culture and trying to find the identity, because Ngcobob is about 15-20 k's away from Isandlwana, and Isandlwana is Kumbula for the historical battle where Amazulu defeated the Mangis. So they took us to the mountain and they gave us a background of Isandlwana, and being a youngin', it did make sense. So I was just like, oh, okay,
Well, you didn't
cool.
see the value in it back then.
At that point in time,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Ngiyakumbula, there's this book ofanekubhale your notes on. I remember I wrote, well done whites, try again blacks.
Well done,
My
white.
uncle was so scarred by that on some hoe. Utini, because we won the battle here. So how are you writing this? And it didn't make sense to me. But that became a challenge, which I want to know more about this. So we moved from Ngcobob to Samuvela to Durban.
So what, from the perspective you wrote it from at that point in time?
I was just writing something that I thought was cool.
Okay.
I didn't have substance
So what
to
was
back
a lot
up what
of
I wrote.
critical thought to it at that point
You know
in
what I
time.
mean? Yeah, because Safi and Tabeni, we climbed halfway, came back down, went to the museum, which was very lousy, by the way. It doesn't give you... no,
capture
for real.
anything.
There's something wrong with us as South Africans and our history,
But
where we should be proud to, to ride that train.
Yeah.
You go to China, ingane encane yamazi Genghis Khan, ne history yakhe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about this earlier this week, Tina. Wuti. Hey, yo, South African history, dog. That thermic pen. Then you're learning.
Tell me, Trey, what were you guys learning when you were in high school in terms of history?
Forget what I was learning in high school, dog. Let me tell you, when we went to Wales, they have more things that relate to our heritage than we do.
Damn.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I can believe that though.
They have a
yeah.
museum that has all the artifacts from all the wars.
They need to bring that back.
The Anglo, that dog. That for me, like I went there, I was like, yo, we ain't shit.
But to add to that, people would stop us in Kwaqeni.
Yeah.
But you guys are Zulus.
Yeah.
Can we take a photo?
What?
They no, move.
This is Wales.
They had a concert they did in Wales.
In Wales.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
Wales, bro.
You need to go back with some South African attire then.
Hip hop as we were.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you guys are from South Africa. You guys Zulu. Oh
So
my
they
God,
would
can we
die
take a
if you
picture?
dressed in like traditional.
Bebezo.
No, and the funny thing is that Amabuto actually went after us.
Yeah.
So they probably, I can imagine, because we didn't see it. We were gone. We were gone to England.
yeah.
I can imagine like what they must have lost their minds.
That's crazy, bro.
But
like,
that's my point is, yo,
we ain't shit.
third term, dog, third term.
But
That's not it.
Black history is deep, man, in the sense of like we disempowered from not knowing it.
You see, you so good most with Black history. If I start with
Yeah.
African history.
Yeah, but when
Before
I
they
say
go
black history,
across.
because like even me saying black history,
Yeah.
like, we imagine it starts at 94. That's what we. It's like no, we're like us as it's the
100
epic.
as a people, 100%. So, isikalo sami silapho from that experience as a Sandlwan. So we moved to Durban, myself, my mom, and my sister. Omdala kunami.
Yeah.
I think Safika maybe on a Friday. The very next day, some of you guys are young, Shiraz. There was a cinema where you could watch 3 movies in a day.
I'm too young.
Yeah, you too young. So anyway, Oleti takes
Well,
us
it's
there.
like the era of Universal Soldiers. No, when
It was all
packed,
action, though.
When
It
you're
was-
like, what's going on? Is there a
Okay.
fight?
It
I
was all
remember-
action. It was all
Yes.
action. So we get there, and the first movie that I watched at cinema
Yeah.
was Rambo 3.
Showcase.
Hey, so literally TV encane black and white from emakhaya edlala ngebhetri yemoto yabo.
Sure.
So now I'm watching this
On
big
the big-ass
screen. There's
How
noise
was that first
everywhere.
experience for you? Because I think me and you, I think we maybe share the same experience. Like a TV was a TV to us.
To
like
you.
To you.
No, dude. I
You
still-
also, I just grew up in TV, bro. I was like, oh, it's TV. Oh, it's cinema.
It wasn't a big thing.
It wasn't a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm
Okay,
saying for
cool. In
them-
terms of the mystery of it all.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
cool.
what I'm
Fair
asking
enough.
for you. Like, you were introduced
I was like
to
in
that.
grade 7 the first time I went to the cinema, dude.
Really?
Really? Dog. Big Mama's house.
Actually, me too.
Really? The first time.
First time, Free Willy, dog.
I was spoiled by shout out my big
Free
sister for
Willy,
being
dog,
for
was
being
in
real. You know, she got me, took me to the movies early. She left me outside and I started crying because I couldn't. Her movie ended later and like, where's my sister? And these white people gave me a chocolate. Stupid white people. They just left the baby crying and they gave it a chocolate. They thought it was a beggar.
Yeah.
Anyway, crazy guys.
So now I'm watching Rambo 3, but I'm not even following the story because I'm fascinated by everything that's happening here. Like,
Yes.
this thing
Like
is
all
real.
the fireworks
sound,
around it.
the fighting. I'm like, this is crazy. So the minute we left the cinema, ngathi ma, this is what I want to do. I didn't know what that meant then, but I told it, this is what I want to do. I want to be a part of that world.
Yeah.
I might not understand it now, but I will. But I want to know more about that.
And you're how old now?
Yo, it was. I was going to class 1.
What translate that for the
What's,
kids that know how to use the internet?
It's grade 1 now, nah?
No, bro. I don't
The,
know.
your first Yeah.
Class 1, grade 1. So like
Hey,
6 or
come in
7.
Shawarma grade.
Oh,
man.
Konje, there was.
Yeah, I know. They were
Class 1,
transitioning.
class 2, standard 1, standard 2.
Yeah, there was grade
class
R.
1, yeah.
Grade 1 and
R
grade
is-
2.
Grade R is
Huh?
us.
Grade R is 0.
I'm saying grade
Yeah,
1
that's
and grade
preschool.
2
Preschool,
was
yeah,
something
preschool.
else. And then now you get to a
Class 1
standard.
It's your first experience of big school.
Sub B. Then there was standard 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
so
5.
grade 3 is standard 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was coming here to start that.
Yeah.
Lapo, they pushed us back because when we had to go to interviews now because it's Poema Famu. I was actually supposed to be going to standard 1 from Iskoling Pumakson.
Yeah.
But Masfiga Lana, they took us for an interview, Isingisi Angsazi from a bar of soap.
Yes.
So because of that, they were like, no, he's going to be
Hold you back.
frustrated. Let's take him back to grade R.
Yeah, frustrate him some more.
At least I found it from grade R. So that's now 2 years that I'm losing because, but no, come on that side, I can't get away system.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the background. So now Uma has a very strong background in the arts world, and so does my uncle because they used to act.
So you come from an artistic family.
100%, you know. So I'm so to say. So ngokula, by the time I got to primary school, every single play and I wanted to be a part of it. So
Yeah.
as an actor, I was really
You guys
good.
had plays in your primary? I feel like I went to a really shitty school, guys.
I don't want to
let's
say that.
proceed.
But I mean, we
Yeah.
had English people here.
Like,
I think
you
English
guys-
care,
Yeah.
English care about the culture in Durban.
Yeah,
So
but I'm
like
saying,
the
but-
schools are
Yeah.
deeply entrenched with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Because
Man,
for
I'm
me,
a poonu.
Like you had pools and shit.
Yeah. We had
Like,
pools.
Swimming pools, you don't have to go to the public pool for your swim meet at school.
because for me, I was the first non-white in my school.
Token black.
So
I remember
it was
that.
91. Your standard 1.
Yeah.
manje, yabo. Because I went to this other school too, in Santa Francisco, which was a dope school. It was proper. But Usisi, he's secretary at the school of Wachonchimal. So the school kind of went under
Sure.
Because of one secretary.
One.
God damn, how much money she take?
Yeah, that was my question.
over a period of time. Why look at Chonchimal?
She sunk a whole school.
Why
Yes,
How much money are we talking here?
I don't even remember, but I remember good
A
things.
whole school in Tang.
A whole school.
That happened.
Because
like,
a lot of it goes through her.
yeah, that happened to one of my cousins as well.
The
So
whole
they were at a school and then 2 scholars valiwe because of
CKs and the people are out of hand with this corruption thing.
He did that.
I'm just saying. Just saying. Then we put Zuma in power and we don't learn.
Hey, those
I
got
joke.
double
I
bump.
joke.
Bring Zuma back. Yo,
There's a lot of truth in jokes, but I joke.
bring Zuma back. Bring Zuma back. Yo,
Shout
yo,
out.
yo.
Hey, slow down with that. Slow down with that talk.
We in KZN.
So anyway, funny story now. So I'm in primary school. Saranda Belungu. I used to live Saslal Entuzum because my farm we moved to Entuzum. Ngangibela ngo 6:30 only to get to school at 7:45. That's how long my bus trip was. So I realized ngokukhulu ukuthi damn, as abantu abamnyama khona ama struggles lawo mancane that we don't respect. Umlungu will leave home at 7:30
Yeah,
to be home
15-minute
like now,
journey.
you know what I mean? Even after school, wayiphuma esikoleni and walk home, you know what I mean? So already ukhathele, you've been on the bus for a
Yep.
good hour and a
Yeah,
half.
it's the challenge.
Ufanele uyoconcentrate
My commute
esikoleni.
home was 2 hours.
You wake up in the wee hours in the morning, you help your mom
100%,
clean,
which
you
was
clean
worse
yourself,
in winter.
you make breakfast,
Uyabanda.
and then you gotta wait. Yeah, you're waiting
And
outside
you could
for
get
your
robbed.
taxi,
100%.
and then you gotta go rotate picking up all the other kids and so on. And then by the time you get to school, what Jason has just been out for like 30 minutes, right?
Sometimes
He's
you're
fresh,
so tired, you actually miss your stop. Ngoba uvuke ekseni.
and then you
So
guys must
along-
compete now. Like
Buka i disadvantage of Kamagana because you're competing with kids that get proper sleep, that wake up at decent times to get to school.
and no madam makes them breakfast.
100%.
Decent
madam
times.
cleans the house.
I used to go to school with kids that live across the road from the
Yeah,
school.
me too.
100%.
yeah, same,
Lunchtime, they used to go home.
Udladla
Kumnandi, ne?
mshunqisi nje wehlala
home
across
for
the
lunch.
road.
My
From
school
both-
lunchtime the gates were still closed. There was
And
no
that's like-
option of exiting.
Right here, Penzance.
Really?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. It's surrounded by
Like
Ilokuza.
maybe 10 people that I went to class with, they lived literally around the school.
Okay, bye guys.
Yeah, it's lunchtime. Lunch. I'm like,
And then some of them get walked by
Yeah.
their maids.
you know, to
Yabo,
come to
because they
school.
figure like, okay, I'm coming now, Doris. Yabo, how?
Yeah, man.
Like that. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I find that narrative like painful though.
It is very
But
painful.
it's also very deep because it also even like reflects on the parents.
Yeah.
Like, you know, our parents have very little influence on what we become because
Yeah,
of the fact
like
that
the
as
environment
kids,
is pretty much
dog,
it.
your parents was only seeing you for 2 hours a day,
Yeah.
literally.
I was thinking about that the other day. As when you grow up, it's like you're literally thrown into a world, and then you have to go back home and be Usilo or Trevor
Yeah.
or
But also,
Utubele.
Like for me, I'm like as like you caretaking for these white kids and so on, and you have to wait for the holidays to go see your own kids.
Yep.
So you're busy making sure that these white kids are raised right, and then you're neglecting your own kids. But this is the only way that you're able to provide for your kids, which is incredibly painful. Like,
Ducky's
as a
got
narrative.
it
Yes, because
hard.
I
we
make
got it
sacrifices.
Ducky's got it hard. Like, there's no place where it's easy. Being a
Yes,
black person.
100%.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
Yeah, but there is no place. Like, yeah, we literally have to fix home. Like, no,
But
what you gonna go
No,
America
you're right.
and get shot? Like,
You're
like
right.
where?
You're right.
There's nowhere. It's lit everywhere. We have to fix home.
So now, my first white friend was a guy called Mark. I can't even forget his name.
Yeah.
So Mark used to literally live 200 meters away from the school. So after school, we used to go to his house. Man, I'm trying to figure out, was I a PT party to Mark, or he really thought, hey, this dude is a
Definitely
cool dude?
Now the narrative. You're starting to sober up with the narrative.
I think in primary we were all still ignorant. I think in primary we were
But you
just
definitely
ignorant.
were.
In
ignorant
high
for a
school
while,
it's
though.
clear because everybody goes to their people.
Which is weird.
That's because in
Immediately.
primary school we're cool, but
Yeah,
at the end of grade
yeah,
8,
yeah.
all the blacks chill
Yeah.
together, all the whites chill together.
I totally agree with you on that one because mang figa for a good month ngangihlala ngedwa.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd eat my food, go back inside until this Mark guy one day came and sat with me, Sakuluma. I went to his house, nice house, Lali TV game. I'm fascinated. I don't know what this thing is, but yeah,
Showcase, now that's the
But
first time I
PS1.
saw a
I
PlayStation.
remember the one time I got home so late, because it's like,
You lost-
Oh yeah, time just flies. Especially as a
it's
kid.
gone, yeah.
Yeah.
So in primary school, then I got into the whole acting and doing speech and drama space. And then I won a bursary to go study speech and drama on weekends through this other guy who was well respected in Durban in drama. So, manje, when you win that award, you have to on prize giving give a speech. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't a speech. We had to do this poem. So we had to have practice. So during practice, I do the poem, and then this one teacher says, who was running the whole prize giving day.
Yeah.
I think, Mina, unfortunately, you can't deliver your poem. We know you won the bursary, but you can't deliver the poem because you can't handle the mic.
Yeah.
You
True
can't
story.
handle the mic.
She says, no, you can't handle the mic.
Wow,
Mind you, this
what
lady
does this
now
mean?
lives in
Sorry.
Australia. No, why racist kakun? She couldn't handle the fact that all these kids we space sabo, you know. So for her, she said, no, I mean, ngingane.
Yeah.
Just tell me how to hold the mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
That's
You-
it.
Just put it on the mic stand.
100%.
goddamn.
100%. So
And
she
probably
says to
some
me,
white kid got some parents paid. Make my kid.
I had to go tell my mom because she was so proud. What's that's dope. She's like, no. So I tell Mfike after tonight's rehearsal, but tell me I mustn't come back because I won't do this poem on prize giving day. They'll just mention my name. Guti, Alutha won this bursary to go to ABCDFG. So Asho Leon, and there was a teacher from Spain,
Yeah.
who was part of his system as a Morningside. So he pulled me aside and he was like, you know what, it's not nice to hear what I just heard, but don't let that break you. Build from that, you know.
Yeah.
As a kid, you don't really know what he's saying, but
The word stuck.
it stuck because the very next year, I went for auditions at the Playhouse for a play, called A Raise in the Sun.
Yeah.
You would know it. Trey P. Diddy did it. And I got the role as Travis Younger.
Yeah.
And Lapo, I was acting with Ngcobo Ngcobo.
Your role model.
God damn.
Pamela Nomveta.
Your
Damn.
accent mama.
The late, the lady, man, that was in all the productions in SA. She just passed on now.
Hayi gcina mhlongo.
Not ugcina mhlongo. Ngizolukhumbula igama lakhe. We'll come back to this. And Ufana Mukwena, who was
The guy is in EFF now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was a nobody acting with A-listers that are on Generation and all these
more
big
acting.
shows.
Like I'm
bro.
actually shocked that you used to be an actor.
So Al,
Before I was a
basically,
filmmaker, I was an actor, bro.
basically you're trying to tell us if you stuck to it.
No. Can I tell you what happened? That's why I'm going through this chapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm like, I've been I went to audition at Skoleni for The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
First, they gave me the worst role, and I'm like, yo, but I'm nice.
Yeah.
Why are you guys giving me like that? I have 4 lines.
Push it deeper, man. Push it deeper, man.
It wasn't even diva. I had earned
Yeah.
my spot.
Yeah.
Because even Abazali that came to see the production, they were asking Ngcobob ukuthi lo amfana why engatholanga a bigger role because
Yeah.
your 4
You
lines
knew your
wakhe
value, bro.
ushaya
Like,
ngathi
it doesn't-
uDenzel.
You
Like, I'm
knew your value.
you know, with your 4 lines, you want to try and maximize. You're like, I'm going to show these guys I deserve this shit.
Like those 4 lines were epic.
They were proper. My 4 lines were proper.
It was simple. It was so much pizzazz.
100%.
Yeah, boy.
100%. So now, okay, we go through this whole thing, and then now I'm doing this on weekend speech and drama, what classes. So then I get this role on A Raise in the Sun.
Yeah.
Do you know what's a Skoleni? They never mentioned it. I was in Mercury.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
white people do that. Like, Alutha Ngcobo was in the Mercury for his great achievements, but it was probably before. You're a fresh class. You're the fresh punch.
Yeah, but that's you were taking all the shots.
Yeah.
They probably didn't want to trigger some of the white parents who were paying massive money to the actual school.
100%. This is the worst part. In the photo, I'm sitting on Ngcobo's lap because he's dropping knowledge because he's my dad in the play.
Yeah.
So he's telling me something about life. So that's the photo that journalists took and this very dope article. Mind you, Ngcobo utai from my school in that picture. No mention.
You
I feel so
representing
sorry
them.
for you, bro.
I'm representing them, bro. Not
still,
even one
Wakapa.
mention. And that was a huge play.
Did that hit
And
you?
the director, I don't know if you guys know Jerry Mufukeng.
Yeah.
He was the
everybody
director
knows
of
Oh,
the play.
yeah, that's a legend.
The legend. You know what I mean?
Jeez,
So
that's
I'm
a
out
big-
there working with the biggest names in entertainment in our country. But my
Yeah.
school, I was in Standard 4 at that time. Standard 4.
Doesn't even see the
what
value
grade is
in
it
this.
now? Grade 2. 6. Oh, yeah, grade 6, yeah.
Okay,
So I was
you
in grade
minus
6.
two.
-2 from
At the
everything.
time, so you go minus 2.
Minus 2,
Yeah.
yeah. When
No, it's minus.
Yeah, it's-
You guys have
depending which
kids.
direction
You
you go,
guys have
but-
kids. You should know this stuff.
Yeah.
You guys
Well,
should know
it-
this stuff.
So imagine for me that broke me. Ugutau. Laba, why are they treating me like this? But that what helped me overcome that was my paycheck. Every Friday
It's
there
like
was a
you
box
guys
with
can
my
take me
name.
around. Just make sure
the
that I get
check.
this money.
Every Friday there was a box
showcase.
with my name with
Yeah.
a check.
Showcase
And it was a heavy check.
for a kid.
For
That's a
anybody.
lift. Oh, that.
Oh, was that
For
nice?
anybody.
Goddamn.
I was nice. I was very nice.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Umar did with that money, but I know the one thing I got out of it was a bicycle. I was the only guy in Lokshini
With a
who showing a
bicycle.
mountain bike in a Makias, man. I was mad.
So everybody was BMXing on one gear.
BMXing, I'm out here with, okay, I see you guys trying. I see you
but
trying.
You
Two.
see these
Yeah,
uphills. You're like, you see these uphills, nigga? I can handle it.
See who gonna get to the tuck shop first, niggas.
So that was a priceless experience. So at that point in time, by the time I got to high school, I realized, Guti, what is it for me then past this? I've been on stage with some of the best actors in the country.
Yeah.
Maybe acting is not the one. I want something that's
So
going
what
to
you
challenge
picked
me.
too
You felt
early.
like you already hit the roof.
Not hit the roof,
Yeah.
but I was close because we had a party, Ekaya, where Uma invited Ikast yonke.
Yeah.
Ukuthi, let's come, wozani lokshini, let's, And then Usela Makegangcubo, I remember Ekuluma no Mat, you know what, for your son, to do well in the space, he needs to move to Joburg. And Umawati, no, I want him to matriculate la qala. Mhlambe can go after matric, but angifuna ukumluza manje. I want him to be around me so I can influence thinking yakhe and shape ubiyena now. Anga move after matric because I think he'd be old enough to handle anything outside of home.
Yeah.
And so that
I
didn't
think
happen.
your mom was right.
I understood Ngokula, where she was coming from.
Yeah, bro, Joburg is hectic, man. Especially with these arts schools, bro.
For
like
sure.
The first time I ever saw coke in my life
was in that space.
It's because of students from an art school. I will not name the art school.
The school that should not be named.
Nah, don't mess around and get sued here. Come
Nah,
on. We ain't even getting money from this yet.
I was editing. I don't know. I was applying for my first editing job. So I'm editing a Little Sundays. Some guy walks in the door. But I was editing at my friend's commune. Bah, hey dog, you wanna hit some lines? I'm like, no. This thing hits me.
But did you know what lines were?
I kind of knew, but like the process of it.
You lied. You thought they wanted you to rehearse something. Yo, hit some lines. Yeah, sure.
So I kind of knew. I watched enough movies to know what it was, and he kind of like flashed it. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I'm cool, dog. And then like 15 minutes later, I'm like, Aibo, your life can start going down the drain.
Exactly.
Just like, I could have made one choice there, and my life was over. So
but like you can't trust kids in high school though. It's like a lot of the time it's like you just a budget away from screwing up.
For
your life.
sure.
You know,
Yeah, no,
you're
that's
not sober.
true.
You
That's
just got
true.
hit by hormones. There's so many changes.
100%, yeah.
Like you drunk. Like
Yeah.
go home.
So now the transition from primary school to high school, now I'm in big boy league. And that's a funny thing. Eskoleni, I was friends with a lot of Indian guys because there was a few of us. It was mostly Iskole Sabelung, you know what I mean? So man, just payana, we get to high school. I don't know how it happens. The minute you get to high school, you just find your race.
Yeah, but that's like for me. I noticed it more in varsity, and it was probably because the high school I went to had already become black.
Yeah.
Like primary cool. I was like one of three black people when I first got to primary.
Yeah.
It was like me. I think there was Tato Ratati. No, not Tato Ratati. But okay, cool. I'm not gonna mention names. It doesn't matter. So now when I got in high school, I felt like there was too many black people for all the white people to go and find.
For sure.
themselves. But when I got to varsity, I literally watched all the white people I knew become white, if that makes sense. But it's like,
Cyrus and the shit.
like literally, it's like I would see people. I'm like, dude, you never had a single white friend your whole entire 12 years. I've known you since grade 1. Manje, you don't have a single black friend.
Yeah.
Bro. It's like the only black friends you got are all on your Facebook.
It's we get there, and what do we speak about? We don't watch the same things at home.
But it's not the same for everybody.
No, I know.
Like for me, example, I was fortunate enough that when I went to high school, most of the people that were in my primary school went to the same high school as me.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that it delays that process by like maybe a good 3 years.
No, similar on
to
this
when
side.
it becomes like real.
Yeah, real.
Like real racism, real.
Out of your 10 friends by matric, you've got 3 of them that you still speak to.
Not even.
Yeah, boy.
I was, dog, by the 10th grade, I was gambling. I was at the terminals.
Rapping.
Please do not mention your school name.
As
As we
for
do
the
not
sake
want to
of
be here for,
continuity.
for defamation of.
At provincial level. I was done with that. I was broads at the terminals on a Friday. I'm at Wrap It Up. There used to be like a Wrap It Up at the workshop.
So you were that guy that your mom, our parents were like, you see that person? That's the kid to avoid. You were that guy.
No, not really. My parents were very like chill, dog.
No, not your parents. My parents would have been.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to see you hang out with that boy.
No, not even, your parents wouldn't know about me, but I'm like that dark influence. That yo, I was bad. Guys. I was bad.
Yeah.
So you gambled at school.
I gambled. I
Take
smoked.
anybody's school fees at any point.
You smoked at
I
school?
smoked at school. There was a week where our vice principal was like, "Yo,
You see what Josie would
it's
have done
either
to you?
it's either I tell your parents you guys have been smoking, or you guys smack a pack each. You smoking right now. And he went, dog, and he bought a pack for 4 of us, dog.
You lying?
And he's like, smoke the shit. I'm like, yo, you better call my mama. Nigga, I'm not. Yo, you understand? Like smoking 20 cigarettes in a row, you literally die.
Yo,
In a row. That guy was just like, okay, no, it's fine. I'm not gonna call your parents. You're gonna sit outside here for a whole week.
At least wait, Kwal.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he was a real
yeah.
nigga.
Real
Also, he
nigga,
was
real
finessing one of the other teachers in the school.
Oh,
so
snap.
he had his own little dirty yeah. And we knew that he was finessing, one of the teachers. Because he just put, they just pop up like in a class. It's serious, like, doing equations and shit. This nigga just come through the door like, are you okay? Like, what?
Holy shit, yes, that completely flew past me. That shit happens a lot.
Yeah, just pop in the middle of it.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Can I just speak to you real quick outside?
What?
The teachers, they really tight. This
But
happens once
if
a
you
week.
think about it now, it's like some real like relationship shit.
Yeah.
Like you had a fight with your girl, can I just speak with you outside? Then you talk it out, you come back, she's like, everybody, you got the homework. What the whole body.
Hey, these white people, bro.
proper.
Anyway, Boogie.
Yeah, so now go through the high school thing. I think when I got to high school, I got involved more in sports. I was playing basketball because we started playing basketball in primary school.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to high school, my skills were...
Did you play with Ian Namakokun?
No. I never did. The guys that I played with were Kevin. I mean, I played with Kevin. And when Kevin came to high school...
Kevin Mabang.
Umabang, yeah.
Okay.
He came from a soccer background. But he just liked basketball. And it was funny how him and I met. On Fridays, we'd all, like kids that used to live around Musgrave, would go to Musgrave and try act cool, walk around, buy ice cream and popcorn. So I see this kid.
was like all black.
Yeah.
But
scaring
the white
But I
people.
won't lie. After 6, because we used to live in the area, we're the only like 2 black people around a lot of white kids
Yeah.
that were mall rats.
Yeah.
Because mall rats was a thing back then.
Yeah.
So I see this kid wearing a KTV cap, walking around.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, this guy's wearing a KTV cap.
They throw bags.
So I rock up. I'm like, yo, hey, we start chatting. He's like, oh, I go to DHS. I'm like, oh, snap, I go to DHS too. Oh, shit, I live up the road. Oh, shit, I live up the road too. He was literally my neighbor.
Yeah.
And then he had some white friends because he knew more white people in the area than I did. So he introduced me to this other guy called Andre.
Yeah.
We started hanging. Yeah. Oh, cool. Then by the time we got to school after that weekend, we were boys.
Yeah.
And, I used to play ball. He never played ball. So he was
Sure.
like, yo, dude, show me how to do this thing. So by then we were staying in Manor Gardens. And opposite our house was a netball court.
Yeah.
So we'd use a netball court to
As
play ball,
practice
you
for
know what I mean?
ball,
Which
yeah.
is even better because the hoop
Because
is
there's no
smaller
board.
and there's no
so it
backboard.
forces your
You know what I
precision
mean?
to increase.
So we played almost every day he was around, you know what I mean? And he fell in love with the sport. So by the time we got to school, we would play every Friday without fail. It was myself, a very good friend of mine, Urechi Kolo, and Kevin,
Yeah.
versus our juniors, Upilanis Tole, and another 2 dudes, right now. So we all played. It was so competitive. By the time we went home, so this Tuana, you know what I mean? Because they were youngins.
Yeah.
And when we were losing, we would bulldoze them like proper, you know.
Yes.
So that union, iyaqala lapho, and what I loved about that space, it brought a new perspective empilweni yami, you know, because all my friends came from different worlds that I couldn't relate to. But, you know,
You're
being
friends.
exposed to that. And that further enhanced my love for film because I felt these are stories that need to be told.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it meant then. But I was like, this guy, because when you listen to the different backgrounds of Abantu that you're around, because manje, we don't take time to know each other. But back then, there was all the time, go to Ubalo, wenzani, kanjani. Oh, your parents do this. Because I remember my friends, I would always chill in my mom's room. My mom and I are very close. So basically, kamerin lama. Where's the kamerin? I'm like, oh no, this is what we do. So for them,
just
it's a
talk.
shock. It's how- yeah. So how do you communicate? You know,
Chilling in my mom's bedroom was not a thing, bro.
really for you too.
We used to watch TV
with
in
friends.
Chu's mom's bedroom as well.
You know what I mean? Because it's that open
I'm gonna
space.
dining room, but
But the DSTV is in the other room as well.
Somebody go in London Court.
Yeah, it's in London Court. Elizabeth.
100%. So for me, my friends were so shocked at how
close you were. with your
I was
mom.
close to my mom, and you know, we'd sit and talk about real shit. You know what I mean? So being exposed to that also exposed another world to them. So we were really just exposing different spaces to each other, which was a great thing. You know?
Yeah.
So I remember I started doing plays in high school now, but now they wanted me to write, and that's when I realized I'm actually not a good writer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for my house, I needed to write because you compete ngama plays for your house. So they asked me because I had a production background. But I realized then I'm a bad writer. I'm a good actor, I'm
Shout
a good
out.
director, but I'm a horrible writer. And you must accept your strong points and your weak points.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I got into the space a little bit. I remember we did Notting Hill, the movie, but we did a production. They gave the most useless actor the main role, Lega Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
He was fucking useless. That's when I realized with
It was
racism in
sabotage,
South
bruh.
Africa ain't into span.
It's because especially in
it's true,
Durban,
though.
I always in Cape Town and sometimes Joburg, Pretoria, it's
I
like
don't know,
out
man.
there.
Oh, yeah.
But in Durban, it's so subtle. Like just
Yeah,
to go
it's
back,
very subtle,
It's very
you're
subtle.
right.
I remember,
I
and
don't
this
think
only
it's
hit
subtle
me.
in Durban, though.
It's very
subtle.
subtle.
I got triggered the most in Durban than I did in Joburg.
Wait, I'm talking about growing up.
Yeah.
because
Okay,
it's
cool.
Like
Wait, triggered by what?
The white people here.
Really?
Whites
still-
and Indians. I'm sorry.
like, I think it's because
Wait,
you. I
let's-
think it's
let's-
because you're aware of the
Joburg
vocabulary.
Mlungus are next level.
Yeah, but they're straight with you.
Because it's
No, that's it.
Afrikaners are straight with you.
Yes,
English
yes,
people are
yes,
not
yes.
Are
straight
not
with
straight
you.
with
I'm
you.
a poon man akufuna
I
wakufuna.
work phone, yeah.
But for me, I'm never under any confusion.
No, Phela, when
okay, cool.
you
Then
grew
let's
up,
proceed.
you grew up knowing. You grew up,
Afrikaners are straight with you, bro.
let me tell you the story.
They'll tell
So
you straight, hey man, hey I like you, or hey, kafir.
There's no
No
gray.
middle ground.
you know, you know, right?
White people will tolerate you for a reason.
Yeah,
And then-
there's
and then-
agenda. Well,
And then
Like
go,
it's-
no,
Like
we can't
English,
give a job
English,
to him.
those they will tolerate you, but behind closed doors they know where it is.
So like, I'm
proceed
telling,
with your narrative.
I'm
I will
telling you
jump
this
into
narrative.
now.
I'm in the car with my friend. Shout out Wesley. He, and his mom and I think his aunt or his grandma and his aunt or grandma is like complaining. I don't know what's gotten into Mark Umaluma or someone. He just sits there watching all of these black people on TBN. Yeah, well, and then like I see the mom or the lady was sitting in front and I see the mom like nudge her with the leg. It's hey,
Like, what you
we've got
saying
a
is
black
wrong.
kid in the car. And I only understood that gesture years later.
Yeah,
how
that's what
sad- It's like,
happened.
oh no, it's a ha. I was laughing. Ha 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 ha.
Did they do that? Not you, Silo.
Oh, no,
That
don't-
was
different.
No,
was-
Trey, what you're speaking about, that's exactly what happened to me. I think I was in standard 7 or 8. I had a sleepover at my Indian friend's house. That was my first sleepover ever. So we're in the car. It's myself, it's my friend, it's the older sister, it's the little sister, and it's
Yeah.
the mom. We're driving and they're sharing like a can of something. So when it gets to me, the little girl just screams out, "Don't drink, mommy, Alutha drank." It got so awkward in that car. I was like, oh my God. And then now she has to try act cool because now you've taught your daughter that blacks are superior to us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
inferior to us.
inferior.
Keep away from this nonsense type thing, you know what I mean? And the daughter is expressing what she's been taught.
Yes.
That
Like
happened
she's
on
just
the
a
Friday
reflection of
night
what's
I got
happening at
there.
home.
100%. On the Saturday, we're driving and this homeless guy
All of these things happen
across
while we're driving.
umgwaqo acisha shayiswa imoto that the mom is driving. And then she yells out, "Move, you kafa!" And I'm in the car. So it's like, oh my God, she didn't. Then she turns
Were
around.
you aware of like? Okay.
Oh yeah, by then I knew because it's high school. She
Yeah,
turns
okay.
around, she goes, "Not you, Alutha. You okay?" So I was just like, whoa.
What the fuck?
But him and I are one.
Same race.
Like how am I okay with what you just said? And I won't lie, that changed how I related. Because that guy was one of my closest friends because he could relate to me as Utaki and him being Indian. You know what I mean? Because I won't lie, it was myself, Urechi, and these 3 Indian guys. So it was just the 5 of us. And we stuck together. Even there was a time when we had a social end of the year where you have a social disco, what.
Yeah.
We had guys in high school come to attack us at our primary school, you know, and we stood strong and, you know, it was crazy, but we kept it together.
We were
But the minute
unit.
we got to high school,
They started breaking apart.
they started sitting with other Indians. We sat with the Otaki. Ngabak in standard 7. That's the last time I interacted with guys I'd known from standard
Ever
1.
bumped into them? And, hey, is that what you say now? You ever see them?
Look, the one guy, we still cool.
Yeah.
We chat randomly.
Yeah.
The rest, I don't know where they are. And the funny thing, which is what we don't understand about Ongat and Nat, 90% of the guys I went to primary school and high school with, when they matriculated, they didn't go to varsity. They went overseas.
You went overseas, yeah.
Because
a lot of them.
there's a guy who, when we matriculated, he was telling me that, Alutha, now my parents have left me 2 million that I can
proper
can have
trust fund
access
babies.
to when I turn 21. 2, my grandparents both have apartments that they're giving to me because they move into an old age home. So you're competing with those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is Shayat, Dak. When we go home after school from primary, we sit in front of the TV and have dinner.
They got
Abelungu
TV limits.
who have abazali that are in business, they sit at a dinner table while they're eating. Umama no baba are discussing the challenges of the business.
Yeah.
So they're sucking that thing from a
Yeah.
very early age.
Like it's like
That's why
passive
they don't need
exposure
to
in
go
a
to
way.
varsity.
And-
None of the guys I went to school with went to varsity. Not even one. They
And to
all
that
went
point-
overseas to work at a bar.
To that point,
To
dog,
live life.
most of the people I went to school with at home, they didn't have TV.
Yeah, no.
Not that maybe they were
I
restricted.
knew
They
a lot
didn't
of
have TV. There was no
a
TV
lot
in
of
the
those
house.
kids weren't allowed like just to watch TV. It's a brain sucker, dog.
It kills time
It
as
kills
well, dude.
time so hard.
But now that you're a parent, I'm a parent. Now I understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand what it did to you. About how much
100%.
time you were robbed of.
100%.
I can see the effect of it. Like, dog, TV is
What
like brainwash, dog. It's like super brain. It's like
Lapo, we are in that
concentrated
space.
Omo, dog. You don't stand a chance. You a stain.
TV
That's
is a
what
time
you are.
killer, bro. Like it's very easy to want to master an instrument.
And I work
And all
hard
you
to
have to
trap
do-
you at work. We work hard. We make TV.
Yeah, we make
work
TV. We
hard
work
to
very
trap
hard
you.
to make sure-
And we know exactly the poison.
I
we
can't
create.
wait to get to that part of my life where we're actually talking about production and the challenges we have as
Yes.
young filmmakers in this
that
country.
also have influence on culture.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
100%, bro. You know?
That's where it's at, dog.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
true. Maybe we should have people on TV actually study.
When
My thing is, if you can spend 1 hour a day on any skill, man,
Yeah.
just watch one less episode of that Netflix or
100%.
whatever TV show and spend it trying to master that one skill.
100%.
1 hour a day. After 3 years, you'll be a master at it. Bro.
100%. Totally agree
And
with
that's
you.
with anything. And 3
100%,
years is going
yeah.
like this. You 20.
Yeah.
Hey, you 23. You feel
Yeah.
like you're too old. Hey, you 26.
The whole time.
Hey, you're 29 now.
No, you're
hey,
very
you're
right.
31.
You're
And
very
it's
right.
like,
So a lot of the things I learned in high school because that's when you realize who you are, where you start relating more to
Yeah.
Otaki and their stories. Because now, I mean, we left the hood at a very young age. When I was going to Standard 5, which is, what's Standard 5, Trey? Grade 7. Grade 7. So when I left grade 7, we moved from the hood and we moved to Musgrave.
yeah.
So now, you meeting abantu that are still in the hood, the way they think, the way they act, the way they approach
It's completely
anything in life
different.
is completely different to you now. You know what I mean? But you relate to them because Mina, out of everybody I knew, I think Mina Pelo Epome my farm, you know, and ayiko into a strong foundation like growing up in rural areas.
I was about to say, how did that? What strengths do you think you pulled from just being a farm boy.
Yabo lento yasemafama mfethu, you get to understand the meaning of igama elithi ubuntu,
Yeah.
you know. Yabo mongena emzini womuntu emafama, there's a certain way you conduct yourself.
You
Fanele
don't just
ugobe
waltz in.
kancane, ubingelele, bakutshela ukuthi uhlale, ungagqoki ikepisi. Into nje yenhlonipho.
Yeah.
At that point in time, you're like, yo, but how does my cap bother you?
Yeah.
But you grow to understand what that means, which is very
You
important. You
grow
know what I mean?
to value it. though.
100%, you know, because Leo Foundation iyakwakha as in daughter, you know. And then my farm, we had sessions where abafana would sit under a tree, no baba umkhulu omdala, and just break down life. Amantombazane had their own program, but that thing shapes your thinking, and we understand it when it happens, but more cooler. But you
That is with
reflect
a lot
and
of
go,
things, though.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that it's like right now with the fact that you grew up in the farms.
100%.
It's like, and you have this side of the world
Yeah.
that exists. It's like your ability to connect both is such an invaluable thing.
100%.
Like, and I don't even know if you know the value of what you have right now.
I think I'm seeing it every
Where-
day.
Yeah, because like you're literally a bridge between two worlds that don't communicate.
And into ebalulekile, based on what you're saying now, if you go to varsity, look at the pass rates and how well abapasa ngayo. If you compare ngane ephuma ko Newcastle na
Yeah.
ko Lundi
I've seen that.
against ingane zala
Zala
eGlenmore,
election.
Durban North,
Yeah.
uzobona umehluko. It's crazy because one of the things I realized, which I learned in primary school, amongst primary school, I didn't put value to sneakers. Itegu ngahamba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the guys that I was close with would laugh, would say, hey, you need Pro Touch. What are you wearing?
Yeah.
You should wear Nike.
Yeah.
I was not aware of what that shit means.
Yeah, what
Okay.
brands
Yeah.
are.
And brands, dog.
Did it, bro. Like,
And
it took
now,
me a while to break that.
100%. You start now being fixated on things that don't matter.
Yeah.
Knowing Nike from your Pro Touch doesn't put bread on your table.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
put knowledge in your head. It's just another fucking distraction.
Yes, it is.
And that's what happens with the system once you allow it to take over you. So now I stop worrying about whether I'm playing sports and I'm doing well at it, or I'm in class and I'm doing well in class. I was like, when it's Civies Day, I need
And
to
you
be
make
wearing
sure you
Nike
flex on these kids.
so I can be part of the system.
Yeah.
Not understanding as Utaki, we are competing at different levels.
Yes.
All these things I think is the show earlier on, the advantages Abelung will always have over us become a factor. So now this whole thing, Yoguti, now I'm worried about what sneakers are. Because I started now talking to Ole and say, Yini Pro Touch, Yini High Tech, because now they're brainwashing me to say, what is that?
being
You don't
sculpted.
fit in.
But Al, is it not a tough ask of a child to be that cognizant when it
Okay,
comes
no,
to
can I answer before you come in?
Okay, cool.
I want to say to you, the reason why ngenzele example yokuthi ingane ephuma ko Newcastle ko Fryhead will excel when they come here because abahlangene nokufita in. Bahlangene. Wait,
What
Trey,
stage?
wait,
Hold
wait,
up,
let,
hold up,
wait,
hold
let me
up,
drop
let me
it. So bona beze lana not worrying about squeezing parents with the little money they have
Yeah.
for Ngcobob ne Nike so they can fit in amongst the city kids. So all you must I had a girlfriend in varsity who's a CA now, and she would break down the numbers to me. When we start first day of class,
Yeah.
there's like 100 and something of us. 2 graduate. And every time I looked at the numbers, the ones that graduate were never city kids. Because now, from the apparel, it's the club. It's the lifestyle that comes with the apparel you're associated with.
Yeah.
And that's where you lose it. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. I'm reflecting on the experiences. You know what I mean? And that's so I'm hearing your question, but I'm saying, Guti,
My second question is, at what level does the one supersede the other? Because remember that you
Can you
also,
elaborate
you're an
further,
example of the same thing. But you got swallowed by the same system because you were young. You were a lighty when you crossed over from coming from Ngcobob to being in the system.
100%.
So what is the, because it's a big ask. It's a very big ask for a child to be cognizant of what's angangeni la. You know?
Yeah, I think there has to be a level of involvement in terms of finances
100%.
that children should have. Like there should be. It's like okay. So for me, I hated branded clothing. And
Growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was strictly based on the idea that it's like, okay, you meet somebody with a Kevel. You think you know who they are. You meet somebody wearing an All-Stars, and it's like with our specific era, an All-Star meant you're a criminal. Yeah. And one in All-Stars, I thought they looked cool, but at the same time, I'm like,
I didn't even know All-Stars were American.
But it's like, back then, I refused to get a pair of All-Stars.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I got to grade 8, and my mom was like, she was so concerned that I have to fit in high school, all the pressure, etc. She bought me a pair of Levi jeans.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said to her, I'm like, how much did these cost? And she was like 800 rand. I'm like, no. We could have bought so many clothes from town that are brandless. Please never
Where
do
do I
this
sell this?
like, please never do this again. And when every time I'd wear those pants, I'd make sure I'm wearing a long shirt to cover the branding because
You felt uncomfortable in
Don't lie.
and embarrassed in the branding.
But the thing is, like, branding is like VW, etc. You know who the guys are.
Yeah.
Except, like, I refuse to let people come up with conclusions to who I am.
100%.
But as well as, like, I don't know exactly the right formula that generates that kind of thinking.
And that's my thing, because also, how old were you when you got exposed to those things from first glance?
Well, in terms of brands, dude, just in primary.
Just because, okay, maybe then you're a special case. Because for a lot of
Is
kids,
a special case.
yeah, for a lot of kids,
He's read the Bible.
It's just peer pressure. It's a peer pressure thing. I remember, I went to my mother and I said, "You are going to buy me a you are going
It's
to
not
buy
open
me-"
for
Like,
discussion.
when we're not talking about it, me asking, it's gonna happen. And if it doesn't happen, I'm definitely gonna rebel. Because I can't be the only kid in school that's not cool. And you know, there's always like kids in school that are like wearing uniform on service day. You don't want to be that. Like for a lot of us, you
It's
don't want
not
to be that kid.
nice. Yeah.
And it was white kids. Obviously, now when you're grown, it makes sense. Like
I was acting a fool.
what actually was the?
But
But as a
also-
kid, dog, yo, don't rob your kid of having a fucking cool childhood, dog.
Yeah.
I don't
And that's
think
the other
clothing
part of it,
is
is that you gotta-
necessarily a cool childhood.
I
'Cause,
agree
my
with
thing
you,
is that
but it
I
only makes
think-
sense when
no,
you're
but here's the thing.
older.
I think there's more value in getting, like, let's say we all have kids here and we buy them bicycles.
Yeah.
There's way more value in that.
But are you
than-
buying them a
than-
Bianchi or a Rani?
than them
That
getting
didn't matter
some
at a younger
No, it
age.
did.
rand shoes.
It
You-
did.
No, in
Dude.
my era it didn't.
No,
No.
this is the pressure we grew up with. It's even worse now with Instagram.
Now it's
It's
worse
worse,
now.
dog.
But like guys, ngicela kunitshela something. Ngizoyi understand le
Yeah,
argument
you got the
engiyona.
Bianchis.
Yabo manje. Remember growing up in the hood? The ultimate stereo to have in your house was the techniques. More
Yeah.
better techniques.
Yeah.
We boss.
We pause.
Remember, Guti, apartheid closed out a lot of brands to
Yeah,
access our
that's true.
country.
Yeah, that's
So
why
it was also based on exposure. We can't
Yeah.
take that factor away, Guti. A lot of things were also based on the exposure. What were you exposed to at the time? The minute Lisuga iketin the apartheid and people were exposed, like a lot of brands started coming in the country because
Apple,
growing up, ngankumuli
Chevy.
telefunken, techniques,
Pioneer.
Pioneer. Sony or Samsung or LGA Gold Star back in the day.
Oh yeah, I've
Then
seen
it
a
turned
Gold
to
Star.
LG,
The TVs
yeah.
are still around. And,
Nah.
I'm telling you, they are.
Really?
They are. I've
What,
seen
the old ones?
Yeah,
The Gold
those
Star.
TVs are still around, bro.
As in, the ones that exist are still working. That's what he said.
No.
Yeah.
Dog,
Not-
I've
no
seen
joke,
them
though.
in these shops in town. Like
Got
if you look
you.
into
Two
the shop,
televisions. They still
yeah, they still sell those.
So now you must also understand, Nguti, we were also dealing with the factor of exposure.
Yeah,
A lot of brands became factors in our country post 94
yeah,
because a lot of countries basishanga sanctions as
Yeah.
as say ukuthi I know lento yenu ukupressa abantu abamnyama, we're not about that, so we're holding back, yabo.
yeah.
So for me, coming back to lenta things I'm regarding the influence of the people that you keep around you. For me, wearing soccer boots, I didn't care. It was about my performance on the field.
Yeah.
But when guys start making you notice, Gucci, what is that crap you're wearing? Where are your Nikes? Where are your Pumas? You know what I mean? So it's like, what is that? I honestly didn't know Nikes until that day. The guys laughed at me for a good hour. They literally were on the floor because I was wearing Pro Touch. To me, it was a cool sneaker.
Yeah.
Bangi hleka sibali for a good hour. Like saslugana standing a break after school zishe, you know. And for me, that
they
day,
don't call you Pro Touch for a while.
after Civis Day, that day, I was like, ma, I bet, you know. And by the time my parents were divorced, so when I used to visit my dad, the one thing, and that's Baba, you've never done shit for me. Nike. And I forced him to go to Edgar's. So I'm saying, I'm not taking Nike. We bought these black and white Nikes. I'm like, it's fine. You can disappear for another 10 years. This is going to unlock a lot of shit for me. So, those are the dynamics that we grew up around. So by the time I matriculated, because you know, you get to your drama class or whatever, they talk about when you matriculate, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
A lot of people wanted to get into engineering, medicine. I'm going into film. And that's what I did. So I got into a program. It's a L&B. L&B was in Bramley. It got bought over, and it's now Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Boston Media
House.
Yeah. So I went there, and I was like, this is what I want to do. Because I was over being in front of camera. I wanted to create.
Yeah.
So essentially, that's how I got into film.
Yeah.
So the company that I have now is called Ibuto Media, and how I started that company, I actually linked up with the dude I went to film school with.
Yeah.
And I said to him, 4 months into school, I'm gonna open a company with you, because the way he approaches,
He's thinking.
it's crazy. And I was like, dude, like you, Sizo Sebenza now, at some point in my life. So anyway, I graduate, come back home.
No jobs.
On my 21st, they had a surprise party for me. And my mom had opened a company for me
Yeah.
at 21.
No, that's
Nice.
That's a beautiful
dope, bro.
gift.
Yeah, and
dope.
it was crazy.
And
It
it's this
The
company.
pressure, no.
Oh,
It
okay.
changed, because the funny thing is, my friends used to call me Usputa, because they took my ex-girlfriend's name and my name.
Yeah.
So her name was Pume and my name is Alutha.
Yeah.
They created Sputa. So the company was called Sputa.
That's a terrible way for a relationship to haunt you, bro.
So the company is now called Sputa, and now people actually call me Sputa.
Wow.
No
Even
longer
after the
Alutha.
relationship ended.
No, but on growth,
Why-
you're like, yo, fuck this
why-
Sputa
why
shit.
was-
I need a new name. I'm not carrying this shit on my shoulders. I need a new name, you know.
Like new girlfriend. How did you name this company?
That's saying a lot, Trey.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. You can proceed.
So
You can carry on,
so
Scooter.
Sputa.
Stop it.
So I
Stop.
killed that,
Behave.
and I started. So I hooked up with this guy that I was in film school with. At that time, he was producing Uzola 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was doing quite well in Joburg, because I graduated and immediately came back home. Coming back home, I worked for a company called Q Dot Production,
Yeah.
which was a sister company to Red Pepper.
Okay.
Yeah. So they opened a coastal company to do Izindozala,
Yeah.
you know. So I met this guy who used to do some work with the OLED. So he took me in. I came in as a production manager. So that was my first job. Like, I'm a production manager. We used to do Gospel Gold. We used to do music videos for all these Ibula. Osfiso Ngwane when he started.
Yeah.
Ibula
Yeah.
Epeto Zuz Muz. He called it Zuz Muz Productions or something, because he used his character name from
What cameras were you shooting on back then?
Yo,
Yeah, must have been some
PD-150.
heavy.
Yes.
Sony PD-150.
Idlozi.
Idlos, yeah,
Idlos,
Idlos.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
when I got into production, we were using PD-150.
Yes. That's a tape. That's tape, nah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
tape.
yeah, I
Those
remember
mini DVs.
I remember.
And now coming from school to being in the field, guys, everything that has to do with filmmaking, you learn
On the field.
on the field.
That
Yeah.
was the beautiful
That is
school
crazy.
about the school in which will not be named that we went to.
Yeah, the school
Yeah.
shall not be named.
That is, you do.
No, but it's the strongest factor.
Yeah.
100%.
Is that
yeah.
3
Literally
months?
within first year, like within the first 3 months,
3 months.
like you on a set, and it's like it's one thing to be reading the stuff and yada yada. et
Yeah.
cetera, but when you're there,
When
and
you're
witnessing
there,
it,
moving
and you're
a light.
balancing tracks and you're fetching sandbags and C stands and what like you're like.
Yeah.
And they say action, and you're like, yo.
That's when it's
No,
like.
but I can also identify because, for me, when I studied music, it's too much theory.
Yeah.
But when you just get into an environment that's practical, it actually just
Yeah.
clicks. In 5 minutes, what you might spend maybe like a month learning. 5 minutes of just applying it practically.
It hits you.
You're like, oh, that's what it is. And then you're like, okay.
And you were also like one of the first people to use computers, like in the country, like in the first line of producers.
No, it
Not
was
like
already
saying,
in.
Not really, they're already in.
Yeah.
I can't have my computers to music.
It has been in
No,
some
LNB.
way.
You went to LNB too,
Yeah.
yeah? Yeah, because I remember when I was doing film, we had on campus, because it was a very small campus, and I hated the fact that I never got to experience uklale res. I always, like, my dream was uklale res.
Yeah.
Because niggas uklale res were on. I was like, I want to be on. By the time I moved to Joburg, my mom had spoken to a family friend, so I was staying with a family friend.
Yeah,
But on campus, we had Proverb, who was doing sound engineering.
Oh, dope.
We had DJ Cleo, who was doing sound engineering.
Dope.
I was very close with Proverb at the time. Because before he blew up on the Fat Joe show, he used to like record and, what do you think of this?
Can I
And-
blow your mind?
Yeah.
The year after Proverbs sort of blew up was the year that I went to Joburg.
When you relocated?
He just moved the year he stayed at Student Village.
Yes, he did.
I moved into Student Village the year after he left.
But why were you there? Were you?
I was at Varsity College in Randburg.
Oh,
I
got
still
you.
remember the
got
first
you.
time I heard Proverb.
There was a
This is a
time.
letter.
There's something.
Who's this guy? Like,
There's something that I wish I could find. There was a friend of ours. It's a flat in Lake, very close to school. There were 3 guys. There were 2 Ntlantlas, no Sleboch.
yeah.
So there was a battle. There was a guy called Gemini. Not this Gemini.
Not
Another
me.
Not
Gemini.
Gemini. Back then, to
There was
rap,
a-
you
there
needed
was-
to be able to freestyle. You need to be able to
100%,
battle-
yeah.
battles. None of
Yeah,
this ish.
yeah.
You there? Yeah. Freestyle. You there holding a phone? It's like, no, what the hell is this?
Bro,
Like,
there was an epic battle. Yakhumbula lama tape recorder mancane were used 2 buttons.
cassette,
Yeah.
So-
Gotta press the record button and the play button.
Esikoleni uGemini wayephuma States. He was a South African but ubehlala States kancane. He was like the most deaf. So most deaf lo Talib. Uyahlonishwa.
Yeah.
Lapho Proverb is on the come up. Like Proverb is nice.
Yeah.
Fat Joe is doing his thing. What's okay, guys? Let's go to these niggas' house and let's go do a battle.
Shame, man. Fat Joe was born too early, guys.
100%. 100%. So must figure la paya na kishu tape recorder. Remember there's 8, 10 of us. You kishu tape record. It's okay, guys, go at it. Because now we need to see what's on campus. Ubani's cock. Lapo, Proverb, his first line was, Kalu Gemini. I don't remember. Gemini was quite deep on Proverb, his first lines were, it was just at the time when his studio mix was replaced by a DJ Bionics Basic. What was it called? No. What? No. Live Amp is now. There was a show before that. I think it was called Basic. Wakona not Ready D, the other colored guy, man, who's a producer. It was him and these 2 girls. I think it was called Basic. BASSIQ. I think it was called Basic. So his first line. It wasn't even SABC 1 then. It was before SABC 1. I think it was CCV. CCV TV.
CCV.
Don't miss your crew.
But wasn't
I've only
Studio
seen that in
Mix
my
like
tape.
a SABC 1 thing?
Yes, ngiyakuvumela, but it's a studio mix. Bob Mabena and no Mel were
them, yeah.
replaced by this show, which was called Basic. At that time,
All right, let's
so
proceed.
Proverb's line was, "You should have replaced studio mix because your lines are so basic."
I remember this battle.
Fair too. That it went on for like a good hour, and these guys were going at each other, and that's when I was like, "Wow, hip hop," because I grew up in the era ye kwaito. When I fell in love with hip hop, Oleti went to London to do some arts and culture stuff. When she came back, she bought me Jordan 14s, Scottie Pippins, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Fugees, Ready or Not, and
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes The Coming.
The Coming was so epic.
3
though.
albums.
Yeah,
I was
the
probably
albums.
one of a few South Africans that had that stuff
listen to
because
that while I'm
it
psyching
wasn't
out.
available at the time. So I'm like, yo, I went to school. I'm carrying these CDs around like, yo, I'm the shit. I got Busta Rhymes. You don't even know who Busta Rhymes is.
It's probably
Busta
only
Rhymes.
available at what was that store?
A Premier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
the
yeah.
only-
Premier was
Getting hip hop was hard back then,
it
man.
was very hard.
and it was expensive. Not even hard. It was expensive.
It was
dog.
very
'Cause them
expensive.
joints was like
Because
250,
international
300,
albums
yeah.
you were buying for 200-300 rand.
Yeah, like my cousin had like a whole collection. I don't even know where she got them. She whole collection of XXL magazines.
Yeah,
Hip-hop
yeah, yeah.
CDs for
CNA
days.
would stock them. CNA would
So-
stop E source net double XL.
Yeah, XXL.
Yeah,
Source.
yeah, they had those two
And
definitely.
I used to borrow from her without asking because she refused. I was young, man. She was
And
like,
that was
"You're
your
gonna
like
break my
exposure
CDs."
into
Yeah,
the genre.
I remember the first when Machiavelli dropped. I'm like hearing gunshots in a song. I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Guys, I thought I knew hip hop till I met Teabag. That guy showed me I do not know hip hop.
Yeah, Teabag is deep, man.
Shout out to T-Bag.
Teabag is deep
Shout out
in it.
Teabag.
Teabag is deep in it.
At this
Yeah.
guy, like they just shame me all the time. You don't know this album. I'm like, nah, I don't know. All the time.
I mean, one of the songs that got me really wanting to know more about hip hop was "E Boys to Men." "E remix here vibing," where they had Busta Rhymes, Craig Mack, Method Man. There was a fourth guy, man. But like I remember in the boxing ring, Craig Mack comes in, my star switches most like he's going crazy. I'm like, whoa.
I'll
Like-
be honest, my mind's a lot softer. I'm not gonna run.
Some-
It's like Gangsta's Paradise.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And then
yeah,
there was
yeah.
DMX.
That's later. That's before we were exposed to those guys. So the first time I'm seeing this thing, I'm like, oh, Balamachit, and they're just going at it. And then at the time, I was friends with Kevin in high school, and he used to like
Yeah.
Red Man. So he put me on Red Man. And then Red Man led to Wu-Tang and that
The
whole,
whole
you know.
Wu-Tang catalog.
Yeah. So Guinea background in hip-hop.
Yeah, but
I'm loving
Wu-Tang
film.
changed the
I'm loving
game, though.
basketball because basketball and hip-hop.
nigga.
In the yard.
Yeah.
I
The
don't
original
even go there.
nigga. No, you the original one.
You-
You're
No.
the original.
I had a
yo,
friend.
yo.
I had a
I'm a
friend.
nigga.
This is the funny
Oh,
part.
motherfucker.
I had a friend, Unandi, ubabu wakhe, uJohnny Mkhathini. If you Google him, he's very strong in the history of the ANC and our liberation. So Unandi, Umawake is Jamaican. She grew up in New York. So Unandi, wife from the girls' college. So she brought that whole hip hop thing to us, like way as more than us, because she was from there. You know what I mean? So I remember her going back. Wabu and nama do-rags. I had all sorts of colors. Nama do-rags, man.
Showcase.
And nama bandanas. I
Shout out,
remember
I need
at
the
one
flag.
point in time, I went to church in Kogichin. Gifasi bandana la unyawen. About the different colors. Like only 112.
Yeah, was
How they had
that-
the different colors.
The
Yeah.
church.
And the
that
church
R-
is like, yo,
That was that R&B hip hop.
yo, I lived that hip hop thing, you know. But
That
I'm-
bitch. Namakan back.
Lalela Mpet, the only thing I hated about that whole thing for me was that I couldn't rap. I wish I could rap. I could ball. I was very good at
But you
basketball.
used to hang with the rappers though. That was
I
good,
did.
man.
I did. I mean, I from high school, because we did a show in high school where we wrote a song, no Kevin, and we performed it. You know, it was a big thing. I couldn't write, so
how
he
great
wrote the
was it?
lyrics for me. I remember my style. I mean,
You had
my
a ghostwriter.
my verse was something like, my star switches more speed than Keanu Reeves. So all you MCs, fold your sleeves and beg me please. That was like how I came in the song.
Showcase.
But man you say umpeto.
Well, not really.
It's not.
Well,
That's-
for
no,
him,
that-
because
it's
Not
fun.
really.
It's
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
That's what
100%.
hip hop
I mean, we
is.
stand at 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that thing was like, oh yeah. So I've
But
always
it's fun though. That's what it's always been.
100%,
Like,
100%.
is-
I've always had that love for umculo, and I'm very versatile when it comes to what I listen to, you know. So now I'm in L&B, I'm studying film. Into ngayifunda laphana, when I got to working, I realized they wasted our time, and that was so expensive. It was 30,000 rand a year, and it's a
This
2-year
is
course.
what year?
2001.
Yep.
So you know my
So
mom
expensive.
broke
Yep.
her back. But this is a funny story. So Oleti, because of her travel, my mother was very deep in the arts and culture. So she traveled the world. And from her travels, she met Michael Jordan's mom and a very close friend. And they were trying to open a
Starting to
film.
feel like we should have your mom
If-
on the show.
They were
Have
trying
him
to...
over the show.
Yeah, about Durban Country
Yo,
Club.
that's not even funny, dog. That,
I
that
know.
would
I'm
be-
true
dude,
story,
I,
yeah,
I
it
know
would be,
about
yeah,
your mom.
yeah.
I know about
Yeah,
your
but
mom.
Durban Country Club. They
Yeah.
were trying to buy that property, and turn it into a film studio where they will
Yeah.
not only be producing local films, but they'll
Yeah.
also be running an institution teaching us how to make movies. But the city at the time did not vibe with that. They didn't
Or they
accept
didn't
it.
understand its value.
No, Anat Singh was trying to do something similar and they prioritized him. It's now 2020. We still don't have anything.
Moving on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't.
So
Oh shit!
I'll check, we gotta protect the station.
No, but that's
Yeah,
pure
yeah,
history. Like I'm not, you know,
Yeah,
it's
there's-
what
there's
happened.
no ill intent in what you say.
Yeah. So now, at the time, I had met these two ladies and they were just fascinated about me and my background. So they say to my mom, why don't you, since this thing is not working out, let us go back to Chicago with your son and put him in film school there because he's about to matriculate. Let him study film there. Let him get all the experience and he can come bring it back home.
Yeah.
But Lapa was in love.
Black niggas. This is why we do this podcast.
Wow!
My young brothers. You hear that, man? You hear that, guys? You hear that, guys?
Yo, this nigga.
guys.
Can we judge you? Can we
I'm rejudging you all over again. I forgot about that shit.
Wait, where did you guys meet?
That's another story. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Now I'm like, wait, hold on. So I'm gonna matriculate. Then you're gonna ship me off to Chicago.
But I love her.
So what happens to her? Literally, that's all I was thinking. I'm like, nah.
You would
it's not
Now,
gonna
you know
work
what is
out.
the worst thing about that?
I'm so sorry, bro.
I have that exact moment in my matriculate. That exact. So it's just like,
So you have like the
"Ah,
archive
next
stuck
time."
in your head.
It was the same thing. Dog, my parents were like, yo, we're moving to Richards Bay. My dad got a contract for like a huge contract, dog. We picked out a house and everything. And I remember the one thing I thought was, I gotta leave her. Yo, I ain't going. We fucked it. I'm gonna sleep in
Yo,
the
fuck
streets.
that opportunity.
I'm gonna sleep in the streets, dog. I'm not gonna leave her.
Look at
So
you guys
exactly
now.
what happened.
But luckily it fell apart
Yo.
and I never had to make the choice. But like half of me probably would have
sorry,
committed
man.
to it.
Trey, I'm judging you, bro.
No, that's why I'm like, wow.
But it all worked out still.
Yeah, true story.
It worked out. You guys are great. You guys are still
No,
alive.
100%. I mean, it's nothing I'm living to regret.
For sure.
But there was a point in time I was like, damn, you short
And
sold
she let you,
yourself.
though?
I didn't tell her. It wasn't about her. It was about me and what I felt for her. So for me, I couldn't go discuss it with her. I just made a decision. I said to my mom, Ma, thank you for the opportunity. Hamba, thatha abangani bakho base Chicago Ngcobob. I'm staying here because I can't lose this
exact
girl.
words.
So what does your mom say to you now?
She was
No,
she
more
was
in-
hurt.
No, I'm saying now as an adult. Does
More
she ever,
importantly,
like,
how do you-
remember that time? No, she-
My thing was, how do you feel about it now when you
No, he
look
doesn't
back
have any regrets,
and you
does he?
think about
No.
honestly,
Okay.
like
I
when
won't
you-
speak of regrets.
Yeah.
I hate myself for doing that because I didn't prioritize me now.
Yourself.
You know what I mean? And I have to live with that for the rest of my life. That's why every day I wake up, I want to be a better me. So at one point, whether I'm 40, 50, 60, I'll be like, I made the worst decision, but I fixed it.
Yeah.
But it's probably contributed to your drive though.
100%.
Yeah,
Because,
Oh,
like,
100%.
it's a
So-
part
so
of your
that's
story.
Because can I tell you what the messed up thing is? 6 months later, we broke up.
Yeah, I know.
this nigga telling me.
Mom, I'm still available, Mom. No,
Mom, call Chicago.
yeah, but
It was
like,
done.
It's
And that's life.
because it's life. You
That's
were
life.
young,
Yeah.
so it's not like you had
Yeah.
a family, a house,
100%,
that
yeah.
could starve if you made the wrong
Yeah,
decision.
yeah.
and so
Bring it
on.
right, you know what I mean?
And it becomes a story that you carry every time you have to make big
Yeah, bo.
decisions.
A
Yeah,
great
man.
story,
So-
exclusive to Radio
Chances are,
DR.
if you didn't have that specific event,
Yes.
you wouldn't have enough of a drive going forward
100%.
with
So
other decisions
yeah.
that will cost
whatever
you more
decisions
now.
we make, you gotta learn from them
yeah.
and apply them as you move
Every,
on.
every bad decision has a silver lining. I believe.
So that's what they exist there to. That's what they're there for.
They lessons. Yeah.
Yes,
They
yes,
lessons. Yeah.
yes.
So
I'm-
the
I'm-
but the moment you start fearing making it, the
Yeah.
decision, that's when you actually start going wrong.
Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
anxiety. That's anxiety, dude.
Yeah.
That's like
yeah,
So,
dude,
like-
I remember like the one person I was telling Prof. Uste, like you guys know him, Like he's the one person I could see. I'm like, dude, I want to start a company. Like the first thing he told me, yo, bro, if you're gonna have fear, you're gonna do nothing. I was lucky to get that there before I started everything.
And it added value to your life.
Added value to my life so much. You know, so like that fear thing is really something. Oh, guys, we've gone over time, but yeah.
You haven't even got to the real meat yet.
Let's carry on though. Let's carry on.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So now, all that has happened. L&B, do my 2 years, graduate, come back home. I'm working at Q Dot Production as a production manager, and it got to a point where I was like, you know what? In order to be a great filmmaker, I shouldn't restrict myself to positions. Let me do everything that's in the
try and get
industry.
experience
100%.
in as many departments as possible.
I've been a gaffer.
Wash out.
I've been a cable basher.
Wash out.
I've been a production assistant where you do everything that's asked of you. And that exposed me to, I mean, I worked on Racing Stripes.
It's very important for film to
100%.
to cover everything.
You gotta
because
cover everything.
When you're at the top, you need to know what
How your
everybody's
decisions
doing and how
affect-
decisions are made. So
Yeah.
by the time you get to the top, by the time you direct, which is what you are now, is you know exactly how the process in each department kind of works.
Totally agree.
And it makes it easier to pinpoint
Yes,
where
because-
issues are.
Yeah, because if your gaffer says no, that can't be done, and you've experienced it, you'll be like, no, it can.
You'd be like,
Yeah.
don't be
Let's do it like this. You know what I mean? So I've been a clapper. I've been everything
Yeah.
that's in that space.
Do you do
So I
makeup?
could learn.
Did you do
The only
everything?
thing I didn't do is makeup, but we did in school.
Yeah.
We did makeup in school, but I've just never had interest in makeup. It was one of those things where like,
Gabushama
It's
makeup
cool.
video on YouTube.
I don't want to do makeup though. It's the one thing I didn't do. I did in school, ngai pasa, but when it came to Uba on the field, I was just like, I have no interest when it comes to makeup. So now I did a lot of commercials, international commercials. I worked on Racing Stripes, which we shot over 8 months, which was crazy because I used to leave home at 2 a.m. Nge pavilion. Baslande pavilion nge basi siye Maritzburg. We were shooting at the race course at Maritzburg,
Yeah.
Golden Horse.
Yeah.
After like 2 months, I was like, no, this is crazy. I don't like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I feel Ian Clearly is a more than movie.
Is that a TV show?
It was a movie.
Okay.
About the zebra that becomes a racehorse.
Oh yeah.
I was.
Oh
Zebra
shit.
that
Yeah.
became a race.
Damn,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
watch it again just
Yeah.
to see your name.
Yeah, it's there, dog. It was crazy. I was in charge of all the extras. So
Oh,
my job was to ensure that the extras, so after every shot, take a photo for continuity.
To
So
make
I'd
sure
go
they're all
look
still
the
in
next day,
exactly the
you're
same
still wearing,
place
you're still wearing,
and
you know, you
dressed
went there,
the
you were
same
here.
way.
And Lapo dealing with extras is the worst thing in the world.
Ever.
Because
Stressful
they all
though.
think about Denzel Washington.
Yes.
You know? There are rules on set. And now you can't be mean because you need them the next day.
Yeah, because you're not paying them enough to be
I
like,
remember I went to this white guy. He was smoking on set, and I'm like, "Sorry, you can't smoke on set." And then he's like, "How? Why is that guy smoking?" I'm like, "Because he's a director. He can practically do anything he wants to do." He's like, "No, fuck that. I'm gonna smoke." So I had to go to my second AD. Sorry, I have a challenge with Lumuntu Loganje Ganje. My second AD was American, and he was white. Goes to him. Next thing, he puts out his cigarette. Those are the challenges that you just have to deal with. I didn't take it personal.
And you have to find a way around it on set. That's the craziest part.
That-
you
yeah,
have to
that's-
find
that's
your
it. That's it.
personality
100%.
and a way to be able to
100%.
communicate
Yeah.
and show a little bit of power sometimes.
That's it. Yeah. So after going through all that, then I got to a point where I was very comfortable to start my own journey as a production company. So I met with the guy I told you I met in film school. I went to Joburg, sat down with him. I'm like, yo, my dude, let's do
It's
something.
time.
Yeah. And then we started a company called Ibuto Media, which is my current company. And I was like, you know what? I just want to do things that define us. Let's tell our stories, because every time you switch on the TV, there's nothing a kuluma gopti.
yeah, it's all these.
You know what I mean?
pretentious
You look at
ideas.
what's on TV now. If we, after this, go home and turn on the TV, the content is so poor. And it's okay that it's poor, because if
It's
you
a
look
gap.
at the person that's funding all these productions, umlungu, ongahlangene ne well-being your dark. If you
Yes.
look at what MultiChoice is doing, 90% of those shows are hogwash. There's 2 shows that I can speak of today that shaped my thinking and kind of defined what I want to want to do when it comes to
Yeah.
production. Kona show to is Toons.
Mm.
I think there are 2 seasons.
Which channel was it on?
It was on DSTV. It was written by Amanda Lane, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Where this girl comes from Alex. She's high lifestyle, and then the brother realizes that she's pimping, takes her to the farm to live with Ukokwake, and that's where she goes to school. And then there's 4 of them. They call themselves Ama Ninja.
Yeah.
Brilliant production. From script,
That's a
acting,
recent show.
directing. Yeah, it's a few years back. Not too long.
2017.
Yeah. It's called His Tunes. Utuso now is overseas. You know,
Yeah,
she
she's
was
fucking it
nominated
up
for an
overseas right
international Emmy based on that show. It was brilliant, and I'll tell you why I feel it was brilliant. Another show was Intersection Season 1.
Yeah.
Super researched, well written, well
Uzane
acted,
is actually in Durban if you...
and he's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, I see a lot of production today, and we go, that person can't act. There are 2 things that brings out an actor: good script, good director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lack those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the producers we have today will go on social media and see who's popular on
And
social
choose
media
based on that,
Choose-
dude.
and
Yeah.
cast them
It's
based on
painful,
that.
dude.
Doug-
And you're raping the industry
Yes,
because
Alutha,
we
Yeah.
can't build it on that.
You're bringing a great point because Dr. Dre built Eazy-E's career of literally stitching his words together. And like, have you seen the Defiant ones?
No.
It's Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine's documentary. I'm watching it again. Editing is amazing.
Really?
Yeah, you should check it out. Yeah, it's really good.
Very
It pushes
good
it pushes
documentary,
the
dog.
boundaries and just like biopics. Anyway,
I need
like,
to see that. You did mention
It's on
Chuck.
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
It's a
Yeah,
very
you
good
did mention which I
documentary,
should
dog.
watch that.
It's very inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Dr. Dre literally stitched Eazy-E's words together for
To create a verse.
You
lie.
I promise.
But
Watch
you saw it on Straight Outta Compton. He showed it to you.
Yeah. Straight Outta
Don't
Compton as
remember.
well.
Cruising down
Straight-
in
So,
Massey's
like,
phone. Like, that was Dre, dog.
going back to the point, that I believe a director should be able to do that. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I've got this guy.
Yeah.
Fuck. I need to adjust the character of
Yeah.
his range is only his ban. Those are real time things as a creative that you need to be
Yo.
thinking about.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Well,
This
but
shit is
the-
next level, dog.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I haven't been in front of camera for the longest of time.
Fantastic
So we're
Five.
co-producing a
Don't
show
worry, we're gonna call you.
on
but that's not
on
mine.
SABC2 called Snake Park 2.
Yeah.
So Snake Park is about Durban and the skate park and the ocean, you know. So I needed to act this character who is funding the skate park guys. And I realized that I struggled to portray this character because the script was shit.
Yeah.
The director was shit. And I was just sitting
Was he
there
on
thinking,
coke?
no, he wasn't.
Whoa.
He wasn't. The thing is,
Coke and
you know
directors
what
are
the
the
problem is?
funniest.
You know what the
Whoa.
problem is? People don't realize that directing is actually an art.
It is.
Yeah.
Acting is an art. You can't. There are kids, Abazali, that spent their last cent to get them through college in acting.
Shut up,
For them
Pimp.
never to get jobs because I'm not gonna mention names. Producers will go pick these famous girls on social
Yeah,
media,
because you
It's
have
the same-
and they
300,000
think that
followers.
those social media people are gonna get them the audience, and it never works.
No.
Yeah.
Al, you just jumped
This
into
is-
like something.
This is why I respect Ubabduma
100%.
when he put out that statement saying, "If you want to act on my shows, you better have a degree."
Yeah. Show me that you've put in work. Yeah, boy.
And yo, dog, it's funny that he said that because I just feel like, yo, where we're at now, dog, it's tricky, man.
I mean, Trey,
That's
you're,
rough,
you're
though.
an artist.
It's
You've
tricky.
seen this from the background. Like,
Yeah.
how did it hurts the industry, the media industry as a whole. Like even like down to the girls that Tanzania music video. You've shot music videos. You've seen a real music video girl and a girl has a chance of being famous. Like, how do you curb that?
Dog, it's a lot of things, eh? But I just feel like, dog, girls they only know, like, it's the same reason why, like, 80% of girls now that are, like, really popping in anything, have something to do with a nigga that's putting in money.
You think so?
I think that's a commonality that speaks to something greater, dog. Like, it's there.
Could
it's
you
a thing.
elaborate on that though?
Dog, these girls, like, everything that you're seeing on Instagram
Yeah.
is funded
Yeah,
by somebody.
that's deep.
It's not like there's probably 1% of the females that are legit doing it because they're doing it.
And how do we then move into an industry where those people shift to the top, become the good part of the foam that we scoop up? Because we're just looking at views right now.
Yeah, right now it's unfortunately at the moment it is a numbers game, and
where that applies, the art will never survive.
yeah, but here's
The arts will
it's
never
interesting
survive in a
because
numbers game, dog.
At the moment, we have the internet now, so there's a certain amount
And
of
that goes
responsibility.
beyond acting, eh?
It does.
Yeah.
It goes
It's-
across the
think
art
about
form.
think about music now.
Yeah.
What is it? It's numbers. It's got it.
It's got
They
numbers.
don't care what it's numbers.
An
But
interesting.
here's the thing that the internet opens up the platform where you have an opportunity to go and fight, break your back to create content that you actually believe that SA wants to see or the world wants to see.
You see,
Even though it's
the
it's
only
an
the
uphill
only
battle,
problem-
though.
No, but the only problem with SA, right? What you're saying works in an American economy where every single person
Yeah,
has
though, yeah, you're right.
has access to data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no.
Our
even-
primary issue,
No,
dog.
I don't believe the daughter thing, because I'll tell you what. I'm a hip hop fans, bro. Hip hop fans in my farm, dog, will get a job, do something, and download that video from Slicker online if they fucks with that content, dog. And that's what I'm saying, Gucci, dog. It's just there's not enough niche data for people to want to get it hard enough like drugs.
Dog, no, it's not even that.
What is it?
It's dog. We're talking about a country that is dominated by lower LSM.
Gas.
Now you're saying those numbers
Dog,
are
but
nothing compared to
that's
person that
that's
says-
numbers again, Trey. When you go, like, dog, I've been in a shoot, dog, and I'm walking in the middle of low income households, dog, people that have built these houses themselves right next to each other, and it's a shack. And there's a computer and the biggest flat screen I've ever seen. Like it's a mind park, yeah. Well,
Dog.
like that's what I'm.
No,
if people
our-
got and an iPhone in that
our
house, he's charging an
perception- no.
iPhone.
This is that you actually speaking to my greater point.
Yeah.
Is that as black people we actually messed up, dog, and we still need to learn that mentality of being messed up.
Yeah.
Before we can actually do like things that are corrective and be about arts and things like that.
But what I'm saying is that, in my way, is that we need to make art. Then okay, I've bought this,
will
but
capture the
this,
people,
this,
right?
this, and now
100%.
use it. Now
We lack
we're taking it
content.
to them, bro. We're taking this content to them, dog. Like we remember when you guys dropped Taking It, dog. The city was missing something, dog. You guys dropped that. You filled the
And it
void.
was something new and
it was
different.
Durban.
Yeah.
it was Durban.
Now that
Yeah.
they're using you as an example,
Yeah,
you
boy.
be quiet now.
No, I'm not. I'm staying to my. I'm
And it
staying
got to the
exactly-
people.
I'm staying to my narrative. I'm
Yeah,
sticking
no,
to
I
it.
get
No,
you.
but I do think this like the internet is opening up the field
Yes.
because
Yes.
like dude, like I was just watching some video clip where these girls.
I would go as far as saying the internet killed the art.
No.
Okay, wait.
No, I'm
no,
arguing
no.
opposite.
From a mass scale, not it dog.
No.
It made it harder to find art. I'll tell you that.
No,
No, no.
I argue against both
Let's
statements.
hear what
Okay.
you're saying. Where you going with that narrative you're dropping
Like
now?
I've got so many artists which I listen to, from Long Arm, who's only got like 3,000 followers on Instagram,
Yeah.
to what's his name?
How many of you are there in
Wait,
South
Trey,
Africa?
wait.
Yeah, but here's
wait,
the thing
wait.
that.
We're teaching everybody.
Let's not minimize it to essay.
But here's the crazy thing for me. I think. Okay, cool. I think the
Microphone.
internet. What the internet has done is that you had the strong arm of the record label, right? And they had all the power to decide who's going to be big and who's not, right?
Yes.
And the internet has broken that apart. And in that happening, what it's done is that niche artist who has, like, I know again a friend of mine, Lazarus Man, he's got more streams on Spotify than fucking AKA. And
Wait,
no,
Trey.
but here's he bought a fucking Beamer, etc. But the thing is that he's still not signed, and he's making his money.
That's Casper.
So
Yeah.
Straight up.
So now,
Signed to who? No. But like he signed when he was.
but that's besides the point.
He signed
The
when.
point I'm making is that these
Wait,
stories,
let's listen
these
to the
stories
point.
would not be possible without the internet. So it's like, okay, cool. The record label can't make $1 billion off one artist anymore, but that billion is now distributed in a way where it's like you can Independent.
Miller, no Wiz Khalifa.
Okay, hold on. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How many of the world's biggest superstars unsigned?
Very little. I'll tell you why.
Who's very little?
Listen, Trey.
you
Listen,
give
Trey.
me practical examples?
I see the bigger stars come from earlier. I'm looking at the new guys in the wave, like Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper's probably signed now. I'm pretty sure he signed it.
He's been signed, dog.
Always?
Yes.
No, he hasn't.
He has. It wasn't a conventional label. That's why you guys not seeing it.
But that's what we're saying though. Which he was
Because
able.
you guys are talking about the internet. The labels aren't the labels anymore. The streaming services are the labels now.
Yeah,
man, it's true.
I'm not gonna argue.
So he's been signed.
Not really
No.
though.
Drake did a.
Not. It wasn't.
that's the
It wasn't
biggest
conventional.
deal.
It wasn't
guys,
traditional.
I don't want us to miss the point here, which
Wait,
is
I
quite
guess.
important. For me, what the internet has done, and I'm not speaking about the world because ngizokhulumela with my exposure to SA. The internet has allowed us to be exposed to artists that we would never hear of because radio works on a system.
Yeah.
What I hate about South African radio, especially commercial radio, they will play the same songs Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Then they think we it's very hard for artists
But yeah, it's
to
a
get
label game.
bookings. Ngisho lokho, but we must look beyond that.
Yeah.
The internet has said, fuck labels.
Tell
Let's
me
put
what you
content
like.
out. Yes.
The
Yeah.
internet says,
Mina
tell me
mfethu,
what you like.
a lot of the new artists that I've come across, where I'm like, yo, Nyamaz Lumuntu, and it's like, wow, this guy is crazy. He's dropping things that I want to hear that I relate to now, which before I wouldn't be exposed to because access to internet was limited.
Like the label would have been like,
We're
strangle
still
him.
struggling, guys, with access to internet in SA. So you can't compare us to the world.
Hmm.
But everywhere else in the world, it works.
When
Just not here
when
because
Alutha,
he
I'll give-
access to Wi-Fi and things that can allow people to access the internet easily. Ayiko.
If that's your point, my simple rebuttal is let's make content. So when they do start coming in,
We're
there.
ready.
We're
I
ready.
agree with you.
We're there.
Like
So I
Radio
see-
DR will be here.
I agree with
We're
you.
hungry.
You have a point there. I
Yeah,
agree
like
with you.
No, I know.
Yes.
I see you, Livele. Yeah, where's your microphone?
I'm sorry, man.
And it's not just that, fair too. It's also now in visuals. You look at a platform like Netflix. There's literally 3 or 4 South African shows that are on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You look at all the platforms that we have available for us. Minage, a lot of people when you speak to them, like my girlfriend doesn't watch local content. She's like, ah. And I'm like, I don't blame you. I don't think local content exposes itself enough to you for you to have an interest.
And Nico,
because not everyone has that thing which I'm South African.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to.
And
Not
you can't
everyone has
expect
that.
them to.
You can't.
'Cause-
You can't. And another thing, don't make me watch local content just because it's
It's
local
local
and
content.
it's
Yeah.
bullshit. I went on a big run, and so you understand that when because you're in the same space.
Yeah.
My whole thing was, I don't watch Hollywood movies anymore.
Yeah.
I only watch South Korean movies. I said this a good 8 years ago.
Sure.
What happened at the Oscars?
Boom,
They won
Parasite.
6.
Parasite.
For the first time, we had an international movie winning Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay.
Best
you know what I mean?
international.
And I said,
That's not American.
Won, bro.
but you know how they did it, Trey. My sister, when she was working for Durban Invest, she went to South Korea, and she says to me, "There's a building that has different floors.
Yeah.
So each floor there's a different a media production element. So
Yeah.
Lana, like first floor will be studios where artists come and record. Next floor would be editing. Next floor would be your green screens where people create
Yeah.
these crazy
Like
things.
VFX.
So all you do, because it's owned by the
You stay in
government,
one building.
you are just booking the
It's an
hours.
incubator.
It's a proper incubator.
Yeah.
So what these guys have done, the government decided to invest in film. They said, okay, what do filmmakers need for us to compete internationally?
Yes.
They gave them the platform to give them feedback. And when the filmmakers, which is you and us, gave them feedback, they did just that.
They listened.
And I said to a lot of people that used to think I'm crazy for watching Asian stuff. And I'm like, the next best thing is South Korea. You look at a lot of productions that are being remade by Hollywood. They come from South Korea.
Yeah.
Either Departed, who's the director?
Martin
that old guy.
Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese. When he won the award, he said it's a pity that I'm winning an Oscar based on a movie that's from
That
South
was a
Korea.
beautiful story, dog.
Yeah.
You must watch the original,
I didn't know.
which
it was
is
a
called
remake.
The Infernal. There's Infernal 1, 2, and 3.
Huh.
It is. I'll give you a list of some of the best films I've seen. They're all from South
Yeah,
Korea.
hit us. Let's go.
Hit us. Take us. You're gonna.
It's ridiculous. Those guys are taking.
We'll post it on the
Yeah,
on the website.
I'll give you. It's crazy, and what I love about South Korea, they don't need
taking a
money.
lot more-
They don't.
yeah.
They just doing stories,
Yes.
which is what we have.
That's- Yeah.
We have stories, but SABC, because they don't get the platform in media, abakwazi ukuthi activator, so we can do great things.
No, they can't keep their hands off the dirty fucking budget.
Yeah, that's also true. But now in multi-choice,
It's like
DSTV, forget about those guys because it's a white-owned entity.
that
They're
one
not. They're not trying to create a
fighting and-
platform.
It's not the public
As
broadcaster.
well.
It's not.
We're getting the minimal budgets and
100%.
the Africans flick.
Even
again,
if
the
it's not,
Afrikaans flicks
even
will
if
get
it's
like 4
not,
million
no,
to go.
even if it's not minimal, they will not accept your content if it makes black people smarter.
Yes.
They will take Our Perfect Wedding. How do you do a show where, for the first time, you have a lady sitting in her home with her husband being told that I'm trying to get a second wife? That shit is real. You need
Dog,
counseling
Al,
for that shit.
this thing is
Yeah.
this thing
It's
is so
crazy.
very simple, dog. We were doing a show
Yeah.
and we sat in a meeting and you were there.
Yeah.
I remember you guys
And-
had
and
something
they,
popping.
And they said, "Yo,
Y'all
where the drama?"
they
Literally.
always
Yeah,
freaking
where's the
say
drama?
that.
Where's the comedy?
No, listen. We had a show
And we
that
shot
was
one.
so dope. It was a reality
We
show,
shot one
and they loved
episode,
it.
dog.
But they're like, "Yeah,
Where's the
no,
drama?
don't act like that. We need to create a story for Trevor." I'm like, "Nah. The minute you change who they are, then you've lost
Gone.
what
Yeah.
we're trying to build."
Have you watched on Netflix? What is it? Leah Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
You
Like,
and the
I
docu-
watched
Don't
that.
fuck
and-
this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I watched that, and for me, I'm like, this is so freaking powerful, and I'm like,
It was also a
literally,
bit weird,
This, regardless, but here's the thing, dude. Never in
Representation.
my life, as a filmmaker or as a non-filmmaker, have I seen black people painted in such black males.
Yeah,
painted
yeah.
in such a
100%.
positive
For sure.
light.
Even when
And I'm
it's
like,
messed up, like it's a
yes.
messed up
Yeah,
situation.
100%.
That's what I respect
'Cause, like,
Kevin
you
Hart
can see he's
for.
trying to
yeah.
protect
For me,
his
and sorry to cut you off.
No, it's chilled.
But you know, even that moment when he buys cars for everyone, dog, like that was I respected Kevin Hart because it said that he's thought about his game plan for not even just himself, for the people that
People
that
around
were around him.
Kevin is there
Because
he's
he went
helping
through
his
a
homie.
lot just to get to the point where he was making money.
Dog, that guy was in Soul Plane and he still didn't pop.
Dog, and he didn't pop, dog.
And he talks
Like,
about
dude,
that.
Yeah.
Like, the
Dog.
thing, the moment
But he
where
did
it, dog.
he's helping his homie get dressed, and he's in tears, getting his homie
At the
dressed
wedding, nah?
for the wedding.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, I'm like, where are our fucking stories?
Because you guys want to do our perfect wedding and date my fucking family.
Yes.
Me-
This
As long as you
was
guys
our
think that's
perfect
entertainment,
wedding.
it's
I
not
think I
going
was just
to
mad
work.
because he didn't get the contract.
No, I don't. Can I tell you
but
something?
The thing, dude, there's a responsibility that we do have.
Can I
though.
tell you something?
I'm
Trey?
playing, I
No,
play,
no,
I'm
no.
playing,
It's
man.
important what you're saying because some people would look at it like that.
Yeah.
For me, I would turn down a show that doesn't represent who am I
For sure.
and what I'm trying to be for my people.
Global
Yeah.
fanboy.
I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I come from a school of teaching.
Yes.
Everything that defines me comes from a school of teaching.
Mm.
So if I can't give that to the next person,
Sure.
I am failing my identity as a person that's
And
been
failing your
given this
people,
platform.
bruh, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, dog. Failing your people, dog.
But that's- Al, I
that's
think-
one thing I carry as well, dog.
I think that's also one thing a lot of people definitely recognize you for. That you never just take a platform for yourself.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
You spread it out, dog.
Yeah.
You've always
Yeah.
always done that. You did it with me. Like
Dog,
you do
even-
it. That's
yeah.
you, dog.
Even me, dog, the times I bumped into you, just knowledge, like, it always flowed. Like, that's the cool thing, is that, like, you're never, like, selfish with it. You let it flow. We spoke, Jalo, when bumping, it's always good energies, dog, and you always, like, that's cool, dog. Like, you're doing it now. You're
Yeah.
living it.
For real, that's you.
Yeah. And I think if we can get that right, then we can grow as a people and do great things because the challenge is that we are competing against a system that has 50 years of experience. You must remember that. I mean, I'll make a typical example. You look at the old shows, Ikateli Mnyama, Folk Zulu, what. it was South African content.
Yeah. That was
And that
some
died.
good writing time in the writing room.
100%.
Let's see, look, vibe.
Yo,
100%.
the writing
What
room.
happened? Inyaganyag is one of the best things I've seen come out of SA. But what happened to that? It was comedy based on who we are. A lot of it, I thought it was not scripted. Those guys were that crazy.
I was just about to say,
Ustumo,
I feel like
guys.
Ustumo, if it came out today, it would rip us all apart because it's
100%.
hilarious, dog.
It's hilarious.
You know,
hilarious, dog.
this is the mind fuck now, gentlemen. That shit was written by white people. Do you know what's at one point in the industry, in the world, the Afrikaner community of filmmakers were regarded as one of the best filmmakers in the world. That's why one of the best ad in the history of adverts. Yeah, remember that Cardi's ad where that guy takes a pumpkin on the farm. She opens, she closes the door. He brings a swan. She opens, she closes the door. Then he brings a card from Cardi's. Then she opens it and he's sitting on a cart and then she smiles. It was one of the best ads in the world. It's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Till this
That's
day,
how
we
I
still- we
heard
still
they
fuck-
were.
they still
So
fucking
when
it
we, post 94, got into the industry, mind you, the foundation of film were black people. The creatives might have been white, but your gaffers,
your gaffers,
it was all black
your
people.
drivers, your
We,
assistants.
when we took over, because in leadership here too, does not get it. It's either they don't get it or they're not doing it for the people. Because now you can't not incorporate Lamarazo that are the backbone of the film industry. Because we would learn more as filmmakers from them than anyone else.
Dog, I remember being told by an old Razo on set, I think it was shooting a movie. He's like, hey, bruh, I've been shooting since we weren't allowed to sit in the same cafeteria as white
Imagine
people.
shooting something you can't watch.
At lunchtime, it's okay, guys, lunch. And then the white people get different food and sit in a different area, and the black people sit in a different area and get different food.
100%.
Can you imagine the humiliation as a worker, as a human
100%.
being, bruh? Like, can you?
That's heavy.
That was heavy, dog.
Yeah,
that's when you know
I
who
want to
to.
do
Yeah,
features, bro.
yeah. No. Hell,
I just want to do features.
when we're doing the movie.
You know, I mean, you and I, collectively, guys, we can go on for 2 days because there's so much that we need to
we're sitting
unpack
on
when it
like
comes to
close
the
to
space
2
we're in.
hours already.
But for me, to kind of land my plane, I left production for a year and I went into coal mining. And the only reason I did that is because we took a major knock as a company because we had invested in doing a documentary and following, it was called Freedom Was Never Free. And the concept was following ordinary South Africans
Yeah.
that decided to go into exile to liberate the country. Because the only time you hear of the historic journey of going into exile with the Chris Hanis and all these famous people, not the ordinary guy Wasemlaz, Nasentuzum, Nagwamash, who was fed up of the system and decided to go over. So we put together a production, 13 episodes, and somewhere along the line, we got screwed over by guys that we were asked to work with who stole the production money. So we couldn't finish the production. But we went to Zambia, Lesotho, Swaziland, Botswana.
So what, you still have all the footage?
I'm sitting with content that could change the country. Literally, I'm
Just
sitting
make
with
this happen,
content.
bro.
That needs a month and mushrooms.
I met a guy. I
that's
met a
serious
guy
money, bro.
who wants to help me
It's
finish
serious
this.
money,
No,
dog.
but
I'm
you've
sitting.
got- you've
You know,
got
when
the
I was in
content.
Zambia,
Yeah.
there was a point where we had to stop the cameras, and I went outside and cried. My uncle was in exile. When he came back, he never spoke about his experiences in exile. That's why I wanted to do this documentary, because as Alutha Ngcobo, I wanted to know.
Yeah.
So he wasn't speaking about it because he was so ashamed of everything that transpired when they came back. My uncle told me that we heard that the MK is unbanned on radio.
Yeah.
Not because our leaders told us that this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So everything was happening. You must remember what the white government did well. They cut off communication between the guys in prison or Robben Island, the guys in exile, go Tanzania and London, and the guys in South Africa that were running with this stuff. Because what the struggle does not praise are the individuals that died in this country, the individuals that fought in this country. We respect more the guys that left than the guys that that lived it. You know, the guys that lived it
Yeah.
every day. No one speaks of those people.
Yeah.
So that documentary was created to do that. So I don't know if they shut us down because we're unveiling things that no one wanted to hear, or they shut us down because of money, you know. So we lost as a company a couple of millions that we were granted to do this documentary. So that hurt my company so much. I had to shut down offices. It was crazy, you
Yeah.
know. It was crazy. And that was the worst time of my life because that's when I lost a chunk of my company.
Yeah.
I lost my what was to be a marriage because I was engaged at the time.
Damn.
I came back home. I needed to start afresh. And then a friend of mine, Usizwe, he was like, yo, dude, since you're not doing anything in your space, this is what I'm doing. Why don't you come through and work with me? Let's do ABCDFG. So that kind of got me back on my feet, and I'm in the process of rebuilding, you know what I mean? So right now, there's a production that I'm working on that speaks to the Battle of Isandlwana, but not directly looking at the Battle of Isandlwana. So it's funny you say, what are we doing? I'm going to unleash so much work that brings us together in production because now I think things happen for a reason. I had to come back to Durban.
Yeah.
And now I'm in Durban and I'm trying to get the community of filmmakers together so we can really get something going. And I'm speaking to the right people for funding.
Yeah. That's the important part.
Without the money, then we're just
the creatives.
yeah. Yeah, that's it, man. We're gonna be great, and it takes each and every one of us.
That's a great place to close it off. Where can we find
Shall
you if you want to be found?
Socials.
On funny enough, the day I left my engagement, I actually left any form of social media. But my sister, like 2 or 3 months ago, forcefully brought me back. So I have Instagram now again.
Whoa.
And I go
Welcome back.
Rabbi.
It's Rabbi Boogie. RABBIE. What is it, Trey? Underscore. I don't even know it because she controls
like
it.
this nigga groupie.
Do
dog.
it
Like,
from the
yo,
top and do it
She
right.
controls it.
What is it, Trey?
No, because he knows. My sister controls it.
Rabbi. So it's
Yo,
R.
Trey, what is that shit? nigga?
What is it, Trey? RABBI?
RABBI underscore
Double B
Boogie.
or
Oh, is it one I?
Double B.
One I. Yeah.
We'll post
Rabbi
it
Boogie.
on the day.
Underscore
Check
Boogie.
Instagram.
Yeah, my
Trevor
sister does
Trey,
that.
tell us where we can find you, sir.
Yo,
What are you working on? Quickly, tell us
Got
what
it.
you're working on.
Yeah, found it.
Listen, I don't care what y'all talking about. See, look, we need to come bring some cameras in here.
No.
And we're gonna-
Trevor, this is our second home now.
Yeah.
We are gonna
Yo,
bring. You know what? You
guys
spoke
need
of
to
the
give us-
OLED.
Yeah.
Give us a day.
It's the content we
We
need.
fresh. We want that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
We'll
Cameras
clean
on.
up.
Are you gonna edit?
Huh?
Are you gonna edit?
What do you
He
want
has
me to
to.
edit?
He has to.
You,
What, the show?
Yeah, you need
What
to
this?
get it to the.
No, dog. If you don't want to do it, we can do it. It's fine.
You
You
there's
can
more
shoot
than-
it.
You know there's more than one editor here.
We've got a
No,
softer.
I'm
We've
talking-
got a
Yeah.
softer winning editor. in the
I'm
house.
talking, it's not about you being an editor. I want
No,
you to
not
to
me, not
direct
me.
it.
Not me. We've got Prof. Prof is serious, guys.
Oh my god.
I'm joking.
No, we'll make
I'll
this
take you
happen.
up. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
I'll
I
take
mean,
you up
guys,
on
I'm
that.
saying.
This is Black House Talk. Beautiful
Black House
people,
Talk.
thank you for
No, I'm
listening.
saying to you guys.
Yeah. One more thing.
This I
Come back.
as if you need my time and my expertise,
Dog.
this should be the biggest thing in Durban, and I want to be a part
So
of it.
SAPC Ella.
That's no, you're right.
Good
I will not
SAPC
deny
was
you
it to
that.
me.
I will not deny you guys that.
It's okay.
What you guys are doing, thank you for the platform.
Don't
And
we-
I really want to
Thank
do
you for
more
coming.
this.
Come more. Come tell us when you want to do a
Yeah,
podcast.
Oh yeah, anytime you guys are
there's
recording,
more
I'm
to
I'm
here.
not
Put
coming.
the cameras on.
It's deliberate.
Let's edit this shit and we're going
You can see you can catch this podcast on RadioDR.co.za, on deeplyRooted.co.za /RadioDR. Yonkindao Sikono internet. See. Bye bye guys. Thank you so much, Alutha. Thank you so much, Trevor Trey.
Black House Talk. Yo, what's your boy Prof? And you're listening to Radio DR. Easy.